Welcome to the Your Music Industry Podcast.
The podcast that gives you a direct route into the music industry's greatest minds. Your Music Industry is proudly brought to you by the Liverpool Audio Network with your host, Daniel Fisher-Jones.
Welcome to episode 10 of Your Music Industry. We've now hit the first milestone of 10 episodes, and from next week you'll be seeing even more. As well as our weekly guest episodes, we have a brand new piece of content. This is called The Know-How, and these are short weekly episodes guiding you through a world of the music business, artist development and productivity to give you a helping hand in achieving your dreams in the music industry. But before we get to the know-hows next week, we've got this episode. And in this episode of Your Music Industry, we sit down with a local Liverpool producer who just can't stop making music. Get ready to explore his industry journey, his experience and views of going full-time in music and remixing. We also touch on the productive and healthy relationship he has with his manager. But before I introduce you to this music production wizard, it's over to this episode's sponsor. So before I introduce our first guest of the show, I want to say an absolutely huge thank you to this episode's sponsor. By supporting this podcast, they're supporting your growth as an artist and as an individual. As a creative artist in the world of sound, you need the best tools for the job. Some of those tools will include the likes of VST synths and sound files, aka samples. Splice is the subscription platform for exactly that. With a vast array of over 1 million samples, they cater to every genre and creative spark. Each sample is thoroughly tagged, enabling you to smoothly explore their whole library. Having tags such as the key of the sample, you have the power to explore an array of samples that harmonically resonate with your track. With a filtered search in seconds, you can be finding inspiration and sample files that not only harmonically fit with your track, but are also of extreme high quality. Splice Sounds comes in the form of a monthly subscription, which, for only $7.99 a month, gives you access to this whole sound library. And on top of that, Splice have kindly offered every single listener of this podcast 1 free month. Use the code Liverpool Audio to obtain your free month, or head over to splice.com/Liverpool-audio. Starting out in his early years of hardcore and dubstep with remixing the likes of Chasing Status and DJ Shadow, to more recently signing to Ministry of Sound with his summer hit track, Turn Back Time, or also known as Retrospect. In this episode of Your Music Industry, we sit down with a local Liverpool producer who just can't stop making music. I'd like to introduce you to this episode's guest. Producing under the name Kokiri, our guest is Kev Willow. Welcome, Kev, or Kokiri, to the Your Music Industry podcast, episode number 10. I can't wait for this. There's got a lot to cover on some topics I think are really fantastic and need to be covered in the industry. So, what is the story of Kokiri, or broader Kev Willow?
Okay, so I started out, how old am I? I'm 28 now. Oh, close to 30, that's rough. 28 now. I started when I was 12, 13. And how it started was, my brother is a big hardcore fan, still is. If someone doesn't know what hardcore is, it's very, very fast. So he was into that, so he brought me into that, like when I was younger. And he used to have a set of Technics in the house. And I remember he played me this one song. I've always been into music and stuff like that, but not so much the production side of things, more just I like music. And so he played me this song, and he told me that the lad had made it in his house, in his bedroom, and I was like, what, how do you do, how do you make music in your room, how do you make music in your house? It turns out you can. So I've done a little bit of 12, 13-year-old research, and found there was programs such as Dance DJ and stuff like that. So I was like to my dad, can I get this? So he got me a copy of Dance DJ first of all. And then, so I was fiddling about with that. And then I also, I dabbled a little bit in, Music 2000. I'd tried that before as well. But then, moving on a little bit more, I found out that there was, actual as well as Dance DJ, there was actual other programs dedicated to making music. Yeah. So then, I found, forums, And then ended up on this forum called hardcoreproducer.org. Doesn't exist anymore. But it was just like loads of people making hardcore music. And so like I just stayed on there from when I started up until the site closed down a few years later.
Yeah.
And it was like a sort of like a little group of like people. I'm pretty sure I was the youngest on the site. But like just sharing tips, tricks and everything. And then from there, that's how like I sort of developed the whole hardcore thing. And then like two years later, I'm gonna say, 2 years later, I ended up doing a remix of a big hardcore name, just for fun. It wasn't like, didn't expect
official or anything?
No, it wasn't official. It was just I liked the melody, so I replayed it, made a remix out of it. And I was like, I'll send it to the guy. Like, I wonder what he thinks of it. And he was like, yeah, I love it. Send me the parts over and everything. I was like, wow, okay. So I sent him all the parts over. And then, like, I didn't hear nothing back. So I just thought, oh, cool, sounds, nice one. And then, like, 2 or 3 months later, it was released. So obviously, like, from a business standpoint, that's like, Kev, you've just been binned off there because he just took your song. But, like 15-year-old me was like, oh, look at me, I've got a song on vinyl. This is sick. So that was my very first ever like release. It was hardcore, so it was very, very fast. But that was my first ever release. And then like from there, they had a few other music releases within hardcore, and I was trying to make a name for myself in hardcore. But I could sort of feel like there was like other like music genres and stuff coming through. Not coming through. And so it was sort of like I wanted to like try new things out within production. So like slowly moving away from hardcore because I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere with it. So dubstep was like the next big thing. So I was like, right, I like the sound of this. This is pretty cool. So I started making dubstep. This was when I was in college. And so I started making dubstep in college. And like while I was making dubstep, it's safe to say I'd done all right in it. I started making like YouTube tutorials teaching people how to do the dubstep and also the hardcore, what I used to make, and just showing people like, this is how you make like this sort of sound, is how you get your drums sounded like this. I mean, at the time, I still weren't I was all right at it, but I weren't very good, but it was better for me to do it more hands-on because then I was learning as I was going. So with the dubstep stuff, so when I was doing the dubstep stuff, I ended up winning like consecutively 3 years running 3 remix competitions.
Wow.
Yeah, so the first one was Chasing Status. They had a track called Time. It was a sick track.
Yeah,
and it was and so I done a remix of that, come first in that. So like I won that competition. This was dubstep, by the way.
Yeah.
And
what name was that under?
Kev Willow.
Kev Willow.
So initially, funny story. So initially, I tried to go under the name The Prototype, right? Didn't realise he was already a drum and bass collective called The Prototypes. And they got like when I won the competition, they got one of the guys from The Prototypes like phoned me and was like, "Listen, like, would you be all right in just changing your name? Because like we've been doing this for years. This is our name." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll just go as Kev Willow. Sorry, I didn't mean it. Sorry." Like Simon off the in between. Sorry. I'm so sorry. But so that was the first year. I won that, and then the next year, DJ Shadow done a remix competition, and the track was Scale It Back. I won that. So 2 years, I was like, hey, I'm all right at this dubstep stuff. And then third year, Benga done a track with Kano called Forefather. This weren't dubstep. This was, well, you know what, to be fair, like, it was basically a mix mash of dubstep and house, because this was when I was sort of trying to move away a bit from dubstep, because I was kind of like, all right, I think I've sort of done all I can in this, so let's move forward to like this house stuff. And then I won that competition, and then that was sort of me going into more of like a slower tempo, really, like more of 4 to the floor house stuff. And then from there, I wanted to do more of this house stuff, because I felt like even I'd done hardcore, I'd done dubstep, I dabbled in hip hop. Wasn't very good at it, but I dabbled in it. I'd give it a go. And so I tried drum and bass as well. Everything you could think of, I'd give it a go just to see
techno.
Not techno. I mean, I've tried that now, but I'm terrible at it. Absolutely terrible at it. you wouldn't think as well how simple it is. It's really fucking difficult, yeah. So I moved into the house thing, and it was what I wanted to do really was to sort of encapsulate the whole essence of like. So as I said, like my brother used to listen to a lot of like old hardcore, you know, like the hands in the air sort of ravey pianos and stuff. Yeah, really euphoric stuff. And so I wanted to sort of like recapture that with like what I wanted to do, just to like, not just for me, but to like sort of like people who were growing up in that time, to just remind them of like, well, happier times really, you know. So I wanted to do that, and that's where the whole Kokiri thing come from, because Kokiri is, well, I've learned recently, I think it's a Korean word. I think it's the Korean word for elephants. Never knew that. Or the Japanese word for elephants. But what it's from the Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. And so the story is of these, this is where I tried to be smart with the name. So the story of these is the Kokiri are a group of like childlike people who live in the Kokiri forest. Now, they can never leave the forest because they'll die. But they stay as children, they never grow up. So the idea behind this was, this music, this whole Kokiri music, is never going to leave, and it'll never grow old. And that was my idea behind.
Timeless.
Yeah. Essentially, that was my idea behind the name. But obviously, that's a very long-winded thing. So when people ask, I just go, "Oh, it's just from a game what I used to love when I was a kid." But yeah, that's it. And then from there, like with the whole Kokiri thing, as I said, I wanted to do like nice, happy, hands in the air piano music that made like people, I don't know, I just wanted to make people like feel good, really, like nice and happy and stuff. And so, like that's where Turn Back Time come from. Well, it was called Retrospect first, and then Turn Back Time when the vocals got put on. But I just wanted to make like a nice, uplifting piano song what people could enjoy, really.
And Retrospect, was that the first official Kokiri release?
Yeah, I mean, so I'd put stuff out. I put stuff out on the Kokiri anyway. So what I was doing, like to try and build the whole name, what I was doing was on SoundCloud. I was per week I was trying to get a song done, and then I was throwing it up on SoundCloud, getting like fucking 10 listens, 20 listens or something. But at least I knew that like people were listening regardless. Yeah. But I was like spamming the hell out of everyone. I was collecting emails from everywhere. I was nosing on other people's Facebook pages to see like, oh, I've got an email. I mean, it's not the best way to go about it, but like, oh, put your email address here to sign up to my mailing list. I was like, I'm having them. And then I was just like sending just like batch emails, just saying like, hello, I'm Kev. That's how I used to start my YouTube tutorials as well. Hello, I'm Kev. But yeah, so I used to just like batch email people just saying, hello, I'm Kev. I've got a new track out. This is like my new thing. Be cool if you could have a listen. Let us know what you think. Even if you don't like it, be good to know, just so I can figure out like what I need to like work on. And then from there, it was like with regards to Retrospect, it was a guy got in touch with me after about like 4 months of it being up on SoundCloud. I mean, I can't remember the figures, but it wasn't many. Like it was like maybe a couple thousand. And the guy got in touch with me and said he was like he was doing a season out in Marbella, and he said that he'd been hearing my song getting played quite a few times while he was over there, and like he'd never heard of it. He was one of the thingo DJ, like a resident DJ, so like he was like, I should have heard of it really, because I'm downloading music constantly, like I'm getting music constantly. And so he basically said it was like on the same day, like two different DJs within like the space of like 2 or 3 hours were playing it, and he was like, wow, I need to find out what this is. So he found my email and then got in touch with me and just said like, I'm on Love Another, would you like to sign this song? And I was like, whoa, yeah, go ahead. I mean, yeah, go on. And then like suppose with that, the rest is history, because then from there it built a lot of traction. It got loads of support from like loads of like key people, and then Ministry of Sound signed it, which was fucking mad, really. Yeah, definitely. Mind blown. I was like, "What? Are you messing, really? This is sick." So, yeah,
that's insane, because it's Ministry of Sound as well for your first release to like become a hit. You played by Animac, wasn't it? Yeah. And
like everyone you can think of. I mean, I've still got like from like, you know, like when you back your phone up, I've still got like all stuff from from 2014, 2015 of like all the people who played it, like screenshots what I've done.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's ridiculous to think that like, wow, it's mad this. I like listen to you on the radio and you're playing my stuff. This is mental, yeah.
And how did that make you feel? Because obviously it's what you dream of, but then you're thinking to yourself, what's next? How are you feeling about like that whole process?
With it, so like it was good because I was thinking like I've spent like all this time I've done like all the different types of music. So obviously I feel as though this is my place. That sounds a bit like corny, doesn't it? This is my place, but like so this is like what I want to do. This is like what I feel like most comfortable doing and making. So I feel like doing it. It was like. How can I word it? Yeah, so I feel like doing it, like I had to go through all the different types of music to sort of develop
your own sound.
Essentially. So like I still incorporate all me old like air horns and like crowd like screaming and like just like and like hip hop samples and stuff from like all my old hardcore stuff that I used to make. That's all like still there, just to like as a nod back to where they've come from. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So was that about like 10 years into it that you finally got kind of your break, would you say, or was it longer?
It was probably longer, you know, like working out, like we're thinking about it now. So like as I said earlier about the, like I got, like the first vinyl release was 15, but like that's incredible, but not as big as the whole Retrospect thing. But I'd say, yeah, because I think it was 24, 25 when the whole Retrospect thing happened just a few years back. So yeah, that was about like 10 to 12 years. So it's 10 to 12 years of like working the arse off, like, and this is what people don't understand, that like when you see like certain artists and he's just come out of nowhere, people seem to think, oh, he's
an overnight success.
Yeah, he's overnight success, but it's not. It takes a lot of time. I mean, like I'm doing okay, but I still think I've got like miles ahead of me. I'm only just beginning. Like personally, I've got like loads of ambitions and everything. Still, what I want to achieve, but it's still like nice to know that like with doing this, I'm heading in the right direction.
And at what point was it after Retrospect you could go full time with music, or at what point was it? Was it even longer after Retrospect?
Yeah, so it was. So I've done the whole full time thing twice, to be honest with you. So it was the first time was after Retrospect. Like it was like everything was going really well and everything. And then I was with an agency, like a booking agency, and so I was getting quite a lot of shows from that, and then obviously you need a follow-up song what's as strong. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head what my next song was. I'm gonna say it was Energy with a lad called Amy. I think that's what it was. Nowhere near this, like not a strong, good song, great song, but nowhere near on that level. So like it started like sort of like dripping down, like sort of going down a bit, and then like so like. Cause like, and then like I released a few other things, but obviously not on par with that. I'd like as like radio DJs were thinking or not like that. So it slowly sort of went down. So I did start out like from there, and I just went full time. So I was like, yeah. But then I was like, actually, nah, I'm gonna be smart about this and actually go back to working again, because this is just gonna be a bit like it's gonna be a bit too stressful, I think. So then I went back to work, and then I was working for ages alongside me music. And
was that full-time working or?
Yeah. So what I was doing, I was going to work. Like loads of my work's always been like to do with like working in schools and stuff, working with young people. So like that first time it was. So what I was doing, I was working like 2 till 10 or 12 till 10. I used to do because I was a youth worker, and then I'd come home, spend like 2 or 3 hours of a night like working on my music, and then I'd wake up as early as possible, which for me is a difficult task. I mean, even like you getting me to come here at this time, that was difficult, And so like, and I'd get up and I'd just like do as much as I could, like production-wise. That's it, just focusing on production. And then like more recently, it was at a point like I was working in a school. And it got to a point like where, because it was a behavioural school, and it literally, like I'm like the most chilled person ever, like nothing phases me, and it literally got me to that point where I was like, right, this is it now, I need to like do something and like get to a point where like I can just do music full time again, like, and so like that was like my drive really because I was like, I'm really fed up of getting booted by kids here. It's burning me head out. Getting punched by kids is not what you want in your life. And so I was like, right, this is like my ambition is to do that again. And then lo and behold, it did. And so I've been doing it. I've been doing it full time, like just focusing solely on music again for like a year and a half now. Yeah, which is cool.
And how, if you don't mind me asking, where does your income come from? Is it from shows? Is it from income from releases? Is it remixes?
So it's from all sorts really. So like as of now, I'm not doing many shows because what I wanted to do is I wanted to build like my profile from like the whole Retrospect thing. I wanted to build my profile back up so that people are like talking about me again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
So that's not. Hang on. Yeah, so I was trying to like build it back up so that people were like sort of like talking about me again. So like there was a bit of a buzz around me. So what I wanted to do was just make loads of music. So I signed a deal. So got paid for that. You get paid like advances and stuff, and then like just to like so that I had like a substantial income coming in. I was getting that from like remixes and then like any money from sales and stuff like that. But like I'm still doing fine with it. So. Yeah, it is like a full-time job because I'm just working constantly. And the bonus is I'm not getting kicked by kids anymore. So that's always
kick by kick drums.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
You just touched on something I'd really like to cover, which is remixes. So over your time of dubstep, hardcore, and now the housey, happy, I wouldn't say happy house, but dead dancey house.
Yeah.
A lot of your music is based off remixes, whether it's your latest back to 96 kind of mix or remixing other people's tracks.
Yeah.
Let's approach this in two ways. Let's first talk about the business behind remixes and then the production of them. Yeah. So how does the business of remix work? Do you get paid upfront or is it kind of like a deal?
It works in a few different ways. So it's usually, it'll be someone will have like, so A&R of a record label be like, let's say they've heard one of my songs, they're like, oh, he'd fit really well for this sort of crowd, what we're aiming for. So we wanted to remix this song. So they'll offer the fee, and then they'll be like, your deadline's this long, can you do it? And I'll be like, yeah, fine. If I like the song, because there's loads that I've turned down.
Really?
Because I mean, you can remix anything really, but it's like I don't want to remix something, and I'm like, oh, wow, because there has been times like even now, there's stuff out now. What I've done, and I'm like, whoa, this is shocking. There's still stuff out now, what you can listen to on Spotify, and I'm like, oh, wow, probably shouldn't have done this one. But that's how that, like, with the business side of things, that's how it usually works. It's essentially like A&Rs come to you and, come to your manager, and they're like, we really like him. So I feel like with me doing as many remixes as I have, it's sort of helped me in a way, because it's, like, one, it's like helping me financially, and two, it's sort of getting my name out there, isn't it? Because like I'll end up being on like certain people's like blah blah. I was gonna say Kev Willow. Yeah, I was gonna say Kev Willow remix, then Kokiri remix, and so like it's my name getting noticed from like different labels, which is pretty good. On the production side of things, it's more of a like. You touched on the back to 96. That was literally just an excuse for me to start making hardcore again. But honestly, like, so if you listen to me, like me back to 96 stuff, it's literally just my excuse to go back to my roots and start making hardcore again, but at a slower pace.
Yeah.
Because it's just like stompy, bit in your face, bit gritty, bit different from like the other remixes what I'm doing. But yeah, with the production side of things, so what do you mean by production side of things?
So let's say the Kelly Clarkson remix.
Yeah.
So how did you approach that in terms of production? Did you just take the vocals and just
I get what
around
you mean.
it? Or?
Oh, I see. Yeah. So I got sent the stems. So stems are all the different elements of. So I approach remixes the same all the time. So I'll open all the stems up. So I'll have the entire song playing, just in like with all the different individual bits. And then what I'll do is, as it's playing, I'll just chop bits out and make a new folder within that folder. So like Kelly Clarkson remix, and then there's another folder in that just called like my bits. So it's my bits. It's like honestly, in all of my remixes, it's just like that folder with all the stems in and just my bits. And so what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll pick like little elements what I think that's nice, that's pretty cool. Like most of the time I don't use all of them.
Yeah.
But more recently I've done a remix for Oliver Nelson and Top Talk. The song it got released last week called Yellow. My remix is out tomorrow actually, funnily enough. But because I'd done, the guy Top Talk had already worked on a track called Picture, and I've done a remix of that. I'm sort of like jumping onto all sorts of things here. But he was like, I really liked how you used like certain elements of me original like picture what I produced. And I was like, so I went to him, if you ever remix any of your songs, I promise you I'll use all your stems. And so this remix, I ensured that I used like an element out of every one of his stems, yeah, which was pretty cool.
So yeah, that by the time the podcast is out, that'll be out now. So what's the track called?
The remix?
Yeah.
So it's Oliver Nelson and Top Talk, Yellow. So it'll be my remix, yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'll add that to the show notes and on the website so people can listen to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. While covering the remixes sort of stuff. I hope you're enjoying this episode of Your Music Industry. There's one thing I've really got from it so far, and it's Kev's passion for music. If you have the same passion, let me know and send me some links to your music at daniel@liverpoolaudio.net. As always, I can't say a big enough thank you to our sponsor. Splice have now sponsored 10 episodes and they've really helped us get the value to you. So if you're looking for samples, head over to splice.com/Liverpool-audio to gain a free month on the platform.
So then that's it. So it's just a case, so I'll be chopping like little bits and bobs out, and then it's a case of, like I don't know why, but I always seem to start with drums because I just like, it's house music, isn't it? So once you've got a groove, what you're thinking, yeah, this is sick, I can dance to these drums on, like, I can dance to these drums, I don't need anything else. Once you've got that, that's your foundation for the entire song. And then it's just a case of me adding like me little like woos in and like me little scratch samples and just the stuff what makes my music sound the way it is. Like me trademark, signature stuff really. But yeah, that's it on remixes really. I'm so meticulous though. Like there's been times where like I've had to get like extensions on just because like my manager's like, no Kev, honestly it sounds fine, and like no it doesn't. Honestly it doesn't. He's like no Kev, it's fine, and I'm like, shut up, it's not. And I'm very like everything's just got to sound like pristine and perfect. Like it's even stuff like, oh, I feel like that's like a little bit too loud, so then I'd have to go back all the way back in and bounce it back out, and then no, that's wrong. And I'm very meticulous.
So you've got a dead like definite attention to detail.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's what you've got to do. Because you've got to like, you've only got like 3.5 minutes to keep someone interested, haven't you? So in order to do that, you get 8 bars each time to keep them interested or to keep them dancing. So I feel like every 8 or 16 bars, you need to, the way I see it, you need to incorporate something what's gonna make them dance or want to make them dance, and then that's it, really. Yeah.
So you touched up on then about the manager. You've got a manager. You had basically the opportunity to basically say no. I wanted to basically keep it going.
Yeah.
How does that manager relationship work? Is it both ways like that, or is it just the relationship you've got with your manager, which is basically allows you to have that relationship where you both listen to each other and he understands that?
So I see my manager as a friend, but he's also it's business as well, isn't it? So like he takes care of things like, so if these opportunities that come in for me, like from a business aspect, we'll sit down together, or we'll be on the phone because he's from London, and we'll discuss it together about like, do we like, there's a few things going on now, and we're kind of like, is it right? Is it like, should I do it? Yeah. And so like for me, I'm like, oh yeah, because like being honest with you, you can lock me in a room, I'll just make music. It's all I like to do. Like I don't really care about anything else like to do with it. I'm just like, sit me in a room and just like to make music. That's it. Whereas my manager's like, bit more head on. He's like, no, we need to think of this like realistically. So if we want this to occur, like like prime example. So like I'm meant to be working on a track with this other guy, but just because of his name, we feel as though it's not like, it's a bit like, it's very, very commercial. So we're sort of like, if we're aiming to sort of move more down like a sort of club route, it might not be the right idea. Yeah, whereas I'm just like, I just want to make songs. Whereas he's like level-headed, and he's like, no, we need to think about this realistically. Yeah. So it's like it works well because he's a good man. Yeah, he's a good manager. He what's it called? He sort of keeps me
focused on the vision.
He keeps me focused because like I'm very like I'm always trying to juggle too many things at once, and then like even like today I've got loads to do when I get home, and like so much to do. But like because I was doing studio stuff this week, I was like, right, no, this is my main focus. And then on the train home, I was like, whoa, I've left quite a lot of things to do. I've left quite a lot of things to do this weekend. But like but it's good to be busy. Like I like staying busy. Yeah.
So how did kind of that relationship build? Did he approach you after Retrospect? Was it before Retrospect?
No, so it was funnily enough. So when Retrospect got signed to Love Another, he was signed to me.
Oh really?
Yeah. So it was just like so coincidental. He was it was just like it was basically hello Kev, I'm your new manager. Right, okay. Like what? But I was like, that's pretty good. I've got a manager now. That's look at me. Mr. Big Bollocks, yeah. But that was it really, and then like he sort of branched away from the company because he wanted to like develop his own like management thing himself, and so because we worked together, I knew how he worked, and we got together for some food, and we're going back a couple of years now, and he was like, do you want to still work together? And I was like, well, you know, it's like we've done well together so far. We're doing all right. So yeah, go on.
Yeah, why not?
And then that's it. And then we just like trying to get back up to higher things, really. Yeah.
I remember you attended Linked Electronic Sound Summit a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And I was there during the booking agent talk with Cal.
Yeah.
And I remember one of your questions was based around kind of, you had to book an agent, now you're looking for a new one.
Yeah.
Have you had much progress on that front, or?
Yeah, so as I said earlier, it was I wanted to focus all my attention on music, because the way, like, if you ever remember Wayne's World with the weird naked Indian, and the guy in it says, what is it? If you book them, they will come. So the way I was thinking of it was, if I make music, they will come. No sort of that thing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just make as much music as I could. So the question was because I wanted to know, like, did I need to be doing I'm doing all like everything I can at the moment. I'm making as much music as I can. I'm putting out mixes. Doing all the remixes that come to me. I'm doing everything I can think of. But I was like, my question to him was just asking, like, is there anything else what I could be doing? His response was, there's always something. And I was like, what?
Helpful.
What? But I've lost my train of thought.
So have you had much progress in finding a booking agent, or then finding you, or is it just?
Yeah, so we've spoke to a few, like we've been speaking to a few different ones and stuff. But like our main concern, again, manager of the business head on, is we need to find what's right for me. I'm just like, we'll go for this one because because I like the name of it.
Yeah.
And my manager's like, right, we need to think of this realistically. So like we're making good progress on it. But yeah, that's about it with that.
Before we kind of started recording, I found something really interesting about your routine, your lifestyle, your nutritional intake, let's say.
Yeah.
Could you kind of talk us through how you basically stay healthy with working on music 24/7?
So I've got, like, this is essentially my day. So my daily routine is a bit ridiculous. So I'll get up. So do you want me to include, like, what I eat and everything?
Yeah, good. Why not?
Right, okay. So of a morning, I'll get up at, like this is a lion. Like, so people listening, they're going to be like, whoa, he's a dick, him getting up there. So, like, I'll get up at, like, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Have breakfast, which is, like, a ridiculous, like, shake. What's, like... it used to be 1,000 calories, and it was just like a cup of sugar. Didn't realise this at the time when I used to drink it. Didn't realise the sugar intake. Now I've learnt my lesson. Now it's a lot less. And a coffee. And then what I'll do is I'll work. What I try and do is I try and do 9 to 5 sort of. If I don't get those times, it's fine as long as I'm still doing a good 8-9 hours work.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing all right. So then within that time, what I do is like. Problem is, I always forget to eat as well. So, like if I'm in my zone or something, like I'll every so often I'll get up and I need to stretch my legs, but I always forget to eat. Which is not good, is it?
No.
So like around like 2 or 3 hours into the like let's say studio session, let's say, I'll have literally just a chicken wrap, that's it, and a coffee, and then like a few other hours later I'll have like a protein bar and a coffee. Like, this is where you'll realise that I drink way too much coffee and I feel like I've built a tolerance of caffeine.
Really?
Yeah, like I just like the taste now, and this is what I've learned getting older. I've acquired certain tastes now. Used to hate gin, love it now. Used to think coffee was the devil, love it now. Yeah. But so I'll do that, and then like I'll carry on working till depending on what I'm working on that day. So let's say, for example, if I'm doing a remix and like my deadline is like, let's say it's Wednesday and my deadline's Friday, what I'll usually do, like I won't even stop for food, I'll just like work through. The only times I stop is to, go to the toilet. That's about it, really.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can piss in the bin, but there's holes in it, so it's not going to work, is it?
I've got a new one.
Yeah. So, and then what I'll do is, from 8 till 10, I'll go to the gym, because it helps to get out, and then I'm still listening to music, so I'm always listening to something different.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that helped me like a lot. I remember earlier last year, I'd done a remix for Marshmello, Friends.
Oh wow, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah. And so I was struggling with it. It was the reason he didn't hear about it was because like it what happened was I sent it over to him. I thought it was sick. It got played on, like Mr. Jam played it on Radio 1 quite a few times.
Wow.
But then the American like audience were just kind of like, their A&Rs were kind of like, we have no idea what we're gonna do with this, because it was like a carnival song, like with like big tribal, like African, like African drums and stuff. So but like, just the reason why I'm telling you this is because I was in the gym stressing. Like I just didn't know what to do, and then like so that cleared me mind for a bit. Went up, got a shower, and then like while I was in the shower, like I just had the idea of, oh my god, why don't I do like a reggaeton, like like, and I was like, oh my god, this is a revelation. Got out the shower and I was like, right, that's it. Went downstairs, done this, and like just out of nowhere, like I went stressed, like, because I was stressing about it, because I only had a few days to get it finished. I was stressing about it, and just out of nowhere, just like this one like little revelation in the shower, and I was like, wow, I've got it, and this is what needs to be done. And then like within the day, I had it finished, and I was like, whoa, I can sleep easy now. Yeah. But back to my routine, because I keep going off topic, and then literally I do the gym 8 till 10, like Monday to Thursday. I go twice of a Thursday, because these are class what I do, because like I like the people, really.
Yeah.
Not really much else. Like, it's a very hard class. So if I had the chance to not do it, I wouldn't. But I like the guy who runs the class. So, but then like once I get home, if I'm not feeling too tired, I'll just carry on working until all hours. Yeah. And it's just rinse and repeat. And then that's essentially my day. And then have a weekend to sort of try and like do me like sort of still do music based stuff, but like if I can somehow just like have a little bit of me time and a little bit of time to myself, or like spend like a bit of time with my girlfriend, just something what's not like, so I'm not stressing, because
so you can switch off.
That's it really, because it's nice to just not have to like stress. I know I keep saying the word stress, but it is like, this is one of the good things. Like when I went to Link, the thing what I enjoyed was the talk on like mental health and that, because I was thinking like, because I was like, whoa, this is like me, that's too much, because I get like when we were talking earlier about how meticulous I am, so I can spend like hours on like the littlest things, and like if it's not right, I'm just like no, and then like the next day I'll come and I'm still stuck on it, and I'm like, whoa. So like mentally I'm just like, I'm not gonna finish it, I don't know what to do, like I'm panicking and stuff like that. So it's bad. It's a double-edged sword, really, because I'm trying to say it's nice to know that, like, it's not nice, it's terrible, but it's nice to know that I'm not the only person in that position. It's nice that these other people who feel the same way. So, yeah.
That's great. I was actually reading a book the other day called Hyperfocus, and there's this section basically on creativity. Yeah. And the reason a lot of people have, like, these kind of creative sparks when, like, in the shower or when an apple falls.
Yeah.
It's because your attention's, like, when you're stressing out about something, all your attention is on it.
Yeah.
But if you've got like only a little bit of your attention on the shower, your mind will just wander and it'll just come to you.
Does
like
it
that.
all the time. And for that, like, just sit, like I tend to like sing in my head, just like so. I was listening on the way to here. I was listening to Sylvester. You make me tune. But like, I know for the fact, like later on today, when I'm in the shower, that's gonna be stuck in my head, just on loop. Always happens. But yeah, I didn't know that about. That's what it is. So
yeah, it's say like the eureka moment.
Yeah.
He was in the bath, wasn't he? It's like
there's
so many of these things, which is basically. Everyone says like your mind wandering can be terrible, but it's actually so creative because it's your past experiences just joining together in your head.
To sort of give you a bit of a nudge and say, yeah, you need to be doing this, you know.
Yeah, I'll try this. Or something,
yeah,
so,
it's good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I'd recommend that book called Hype Focus. So with you being full time, obviously being productive is really important as well as being creative.
Yeah.
Do you kind of schedule what you're going to be doing in each studio session, or how do you approach working on music?
Yeah, so I try and stay a bit regimented with it, like, because most of the time I sort of know like what songs I need to be working on. So prime example. So for the rest of this week, I've just got back from a few studio sessions. So today and tomorrow, I need to get me mix sorted for this month, which is a bit annoying because tomorrow's next month already, which is a bit of a pain. So that's a bit of a nightmare. But so I know that I'm doing that like today and tomorrow if need be.
Yeah.
But then from there, out of the like demo tracks that I worked up yesterday, there was one what I felt I'd be able to get done in about 4 to 5 hours.
That's good.
So then that's gonna be me Friday work. Saturday's gonna be like, I'd like it to be a day of rest, but because of all the work I've got on, it's not going to be. So then that'll be a case of, out of the other demo songs what I was working on at the beginning of the week, I'll see which other one is like close. Basically what I do is, it's sort of, this is probably why I'm stressed. So like I go backwards, so I'll go from the one what's nearly finished, and then at the very end of the week, I work on the one what's like nowhere near finished, because then like I've got this much time to get this done, and then like next week it's a new week, so then I need to be focusing on this. So yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So with having a manager, does he set a lot of deadlines, or do a lot of your projects have deadlines that...
Yeah, so with regards to stuff like releases and stuff, like I've got to, so you need to get it in by here if we want to release it for this. So these deadlines like that, with remixes, these deadlines like that, my manager does try and help in a way and say like, right, I feel like this is all the stuff what you've got going on now. We need to do this. We need to get this done by this. Like we've got a Google Sheets master timeline, and what we do is we both write on it each other. So like if I write on it, he'll be able to see it, and vice versa. Yeah. And so it's a way in which, like, because as I said, I'm very like hectic. It's just the way I am, and so it's nice. Like I can look at that and I'm like, right, I've got 4 days to get this done. Right, that's doable. And then I've got 6 days. Right, so it's easy. Like he does it in a way, like he sort of keeps me on top of things with like a visual thing to be like, right, you've got, because as I said, I'm hands on and stuff like that. If he was to just tell me you've got like this day to do it, I'd be like, right, cool. But it's because it's in front of me, I can see it, I know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what's next for Kokiri, other than the remix coming out, or which is out now?
Yeah.
What's next? Any big projects? Any kind of shows booked in, or is it all NDA, not allowed to be spoken about?
No. So I don't mind speaking about anything really. So my next release is with a singer called Joe Killington. That's going to be out. Let me see if I get it right. I'm going to say April. I'm 100%. I'm not 100%. I'm 95% positive. It's April 1st, but it might not be. But it's a track called Friends, and it was a weird one. So this was a studio session. We got together. It was last month, and we were meant to be in big, like the nice big studio what I was in over the past few days. But because I'm a Windows user, obviously problems occur because no one likes Windows users. So couldn't set up. So we ended up we were in this really small, literally couldn't swing a cat in it. And it's mad because we ended up getting this entire song done, and it was literally just from, I'd written these sort of plucky, trancey, again going back to me whole hardcore thing, these nice trancey, euphoric plucks and a bass line, and from that we wrote like an entire song in like 5 hours. We even had time to watch like a funny Top Gear video. And, yeah. So we've got that coming out April again. I'm gonna say April 1st.
It's in April. It's coming out in April.
It's like the beginning of April. Got another track. Like so my track after that is gonna be because I'm still in the Armada deal, but I think I'm like 1 or 2 songs away from finishing it. So that's another reason why I'm like getting so much stuff finished, so that once the deal's done, I've got loads of music and then if I end up going with Armada again, I've already got all my music ready for release. Yeah. If I go with another label, I've already got all my music ready for release.
How many, if you don't mind me asking, how many tracks is that deal with Armada? Is it a like substantial amount, or is it?
I'm gonna say 6. Yeah, I think it was 6. But 2 got included. Yeah, I think it was 6. But 2 got included from. Yeah. I'm gonna say 6.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was 6. I mean, I'm probably wrong. It's probably still got about 100.
And was there a time frame on that? Or
18 months.
18 months.
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty good. I'm still like still got loads of time left because I ends up getting loads of. The thing is, it's like getting stuff signed, and like I ended up this year was a lot of experimentation with like a lot more sampling really. So disco seems to be in now, and like I love me some disco. So I ended up just going around like sample hunting and stuff. And then one of the tracks, what I've done, but was still waiting on sample clearance, and I sent it over to them maybe like March of last year. Yeah, just still trying to get it cleared. So it's been like a year. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Have you had many issues with samples or sample clearance, or is it just mainly that one?
I mean, so I've got another track coming. It's coming out later this year, and it was a Gladys Knight sample. It was just a chop of a vocal of one of the vocals what I liked. But that that song was done like close to 2 years ago.
Wow.
And but it's always been one of them songs where I'm like, right, this isn't like out of all the things I've ever made, this is my favorite thing I've ever made. Like even retrospect, like this is better. Like I prefer this. And so yeah, like I made this so long ago, and then I've always been like dead. This needs to be released. This has got to be released. And then like it was like, oh, we need to get the sample cleared, and I was like, cool, yeah, that's naive me.
An email.
Yeah, naive me. Like, oh, it's not gonna take long. Now we'll have this released by summer. And then like it's just chasing. Are we getting anywhere? Nope. Are we getting anywhere? And then like I'd sort of, being honest with you, sort of given up hope on this song. I was like, oh, I mean, it was gonna be good, but it's gone now.
Yeah.
And then it was a few weeks back. Got an email, and it was like, oh, it's been cleared, and I was like, oh, amazing. So yeah, we've got that one coming as well, which should be good. And then like all the other stuff, it's literally just a case of what I've been working on. I'm just aiming to just get because as I said, as I keep saying, I just like making music. Like that's your
passion, that's your love. Yeah.
I like it's something I'm good at, something I enjoy. So like if I get to do it all the time, then it sounds. So that's it really. I'm just trying to finish as much stuff as I can, get it out, and then just trying to get my music heard by more people really. Yeah.
Superb.
Yeah.
So before my final question, I've kind of got a biggish question that I ask everyone on the podcast, and you always get some interesting answers, which sometimes blow my mind. So this could be on kind of a local, national, or international scale. What change would you like to see in the music industry in, say, the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, so I'd say like in the next 3 to 5 years, like because like it seems to be like it's not a staple, but like a lot more people are producing now, and a lot more people are becoming like DJs, like some for the right reasons, some for the wrong reasons. But it'd just be nice to give them more of a chance, like to give them more of an opportunity, maybe like a platform for them to like. I mean, I don't know this for 3 to 5 years, but so like the way I explained earlier about me with the beginning of Kokiri, I was just sending emails, and like obviously I just look spammy, but it was like if there was something in place that was like, this is for up and coming producers, like this is for you guys, like for you guys and girls. I mean that'd be good for the music industry, because because then you'd be given like the plethora of new talent, like a way to step up, because like in the old hardcore stuff, it was hard. Like it was a lot like all the people who were there. It was kind of they were there, like not really room for anyone else really. It's not like that. It's not like that with house. Like there's loads of upcoming people, and it's really nice. But I feel like it'd be cool if, because there's so many people who produce now, and there's a lot of people who go under the radar, and like just because like there's not like the only thing you can do is like upload to SoundCloud, send it to like I don't know BBC Introducing, send a few emails off, and like it does like it worked for me, but like what if it didn't? Like for all I know, I could still just be annoying people with hello I'm Kev emails. So like
so some sort of platform that helps promote the upcomers, the grassroots artists.
Like,
that sort
I feel
of
so, because they're the people who are like up and coming, aren't they? They're gonna be like the next big stars, finger quotes, if so to speak. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying to think of a better answer.
No, that's a solid answer, because you've got to build the foundation for the next generation. I mean.
Yeah.
So where can people find you online?
So I've got a website. It's essentially if you want to learn all about, not so much learn all about me, but if you want to keep up to date with everything, it's kokirimusic.com, and there's a mailing list. Just sign up to that, and you'll get nice emails off me.
Oh, nice. I need to sign up to that myself.
And then Facebook, it's Kokiri Official. SoundCloud, even though it's going down under, I'll give you that anyway. It's Kokiri-music. Instagram is Kokiri Music, and Twitter, which I don't really use, Kokiri_music. To be fair, if you want to get in touch with me, I'll reply on everything, but Instagram
it's
mostly.
Best.
I think that's about it really. As for stuff online, these YouTube, but man, nothing really.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being a guest. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Learned a lot about if I ever want a chicken wrap, I've got a meat to go with. Thanks, Kev.
Yeah, nice one.
No problem. Thank you for listening to this episode of Your Music Industry. Don't forget, next week we start a whole new revolution in the Your Music Industry podcast through releasing new smaller podcasts as part of the series. These are called Know How, and I really can't wait to pass the knowledge on that I'm learning to you. As always, I can't say a big enough thank you to Splice Sounds for sponsoring the podcast. Everything they do is insanely valuable, and we thank them so much. So make sure you check out Splice Sounds for all your samples, and if you use the code Liverpool Audio, you'll get a free month on the platform. Just a final note from me. Are you by any chance listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts? If so, if you could review the podcast, that would mean so much to me and the Liverpool Audio Network team. Either way, I will see you next week for our next guest episode and the beginning of Know How.